hoping that we can shine a light on what's good in all of us. I mean, it's not about a TV program. It's about a movement. It's about the opportunity to see ourselves and others, and maybe encourage us to do more good. And the Doing Good movement is hopefully something that'll challenge people, encourage people, inspire people to just think about some of their decisions, some of their activities, and some of the things that they're a part of. And for all the violent nature of things that we've experienced over the last several years, I just think we need this. Doing good is the right thing to do. Doing good is worth it. The doing good is valuable. The doing good is necessary. Sit down and talk with them in the boardrooms, in the lounges, in the sidewalks. I want to get footage of people all over the place doing good things for strangers, for neighbors, for friends, for organizations, for causes, initiatives. And if we can just do one small portion of the good that's in the world, highlighted in this show and all of our platforms, I think it can make a difference.
We're so honored to start this show, a historic visit by Pope Francis in the Washington, D.C. metro area. People looking for hope, believing in hope. And we think doing good is exactly how you can experience that hope. We know that one person can make a difference on this show, and hopefully you'll meet some people today that leave you inspired, empowered, and even blessed. I was inspired to do this work based on the many experiences I've had over the last 20 years of my life. And doing good is an opportunity for me to show people all over the world that are doing the kind of things that just make this a better place. So I'll show you a little bit about the work I've done and the kind of things that inspired me to do this show. And hopefully you'll be willing to take this journey with me. When I think about all the opportunities I got to serve humanity, I also think about the images of great leaders who've gone before me, who've inspired my work. When I think about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who it seems I've been idolizing his work my whole lifetime, and I'm honored to, for the last 16 years, to host an awards celebration serving and recognizing the community leaders, unsung heroes over the past more than a decade. And I love that event. It's one of my favorite days of the year. My family and friends know that I get really excited because paying homage to Dr. King and the living legacies that walk among us. It's one of the greatest privileges I experience. And then, of course, training grounds and being able to serve the thousands of individuals just looking for hope, looking for direction, looking for support and guidance to be able to take care of their families, and young people looking for direction, nurturing, and love. That's what's really special to me. But probably nothing's more special than being a dad, being a grandfather, the love in my children and my family and my relationships. That's probably top on my list after my relationship with God. So this is all about me pulling all those experiences, relationships, and energies into one place and one platform where I can guide us all to a place of doing good. I'm excited to sit down with my good friend, Reverend Jim Dickerson, founder of Manna Inc. For more than 50 years, he's helped families realize their dreams of affordable housing and home ownership in Washington, D.C. Well, we're here over in Northeast Washington, D.C. with a very dear friend, a very faithful man, been working hard in the vineyard, touching thousands and thousands of families. Reverend Jim Dickerson, founder of Manna Inc. What's up, brother?
Good.
How's it going, man?
Great to be with you.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited.
Thank you.
When I think about people that really epitomize the message we want to come across on this show, Doing Good, you're one of the first people I think of, brother. And we've have done a few things together over the past year or so, but you've been laboring quite a while. So I kind of want to ask you, when you think of doing good, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, the first thing is giving back a little bit of what I've been given. It's just that simple. It's I've been given, I feel like, more than I give, and I get from the doing more in return than I give. And, you know, it's my passion. I feel like a little guilty about getting a paycheck because I love it so much, even though it's hard. and you have an inspiration within yourself. You have a dedication, because it really starts within oneself that I can do this. It may be you get to have help, but at the same time, you have to start from inside here, going forth. And that's my story and the story of a lot of others. And what really excites me is to see people who have been taught that they can't do anything. They can't buy a home. Nobody in their family's ever owned anything.
Can I talk a little bit about, you mentioned homes.
Grounds, with a lot of disadvantage.
35 years.
Well, here at Manna, 35, but I've been doing it for 50 years.
Wow. So how many homes would you say you helped?
I say 1,500.
1,500.
I was running a program called Hope in a Home, and out of that, the families, it was a transitional housing program.
Was that started here in D.C.?
Right here in D.C. The first round of families in that program that we had were ready to graduate. And they told me that, from the program and move on and give us the property, the apartment they were living in back, and we start over with another family. But this first group said, look, we don't want to go back too old to a bad rental. We don't. This was back in the day when nobody wanted to live in D.C. and a lot of, vacant properties and just bombed out everything. So I said, what do you want to do? And they said, we want to own a home. So we started buying property. Back then they were giving you properties away, at least in these neighborhoods. Wow. $5,000.
What neighborhoods were you starting with?
Well, we started in Shaw.
In Shaw, right.
And we did 300 homes in Shaw.
Wow.
And we have a church and a community center down there. We're not done, but it's all gentrified now. But we got more plans. But then we did every place, east of the river, every place we could find property. Yeah. The other thing is, I just want to give credit to Marion Barry and his administrations. I know there's a lot of problems, but he believed in this, and he put money in it, and all these programs that we use now are really to his credit. We grew ourselves from that.
Well, I really appreciate that reference to Marion Barry, Mayor for Life. So let's kind of talk about what kind of good things you're doing in Manna now. So we're in the dream room. Is that what
we're in the dream room? This is the place where people train, the Home Buyers Club room, and they get themselves ready to purchase a home.
So what do I need to start? Do I need to know? I have my credit score in order?
No, you need to come in here. You need to put up $5 or so, or $15. I'm not sure what it is now, to get a credit report, and then start coming to meetings.
Wow.
This is like church. This is like NAAA. This is the place.
I know you're a preacher. We're about to go
hold on now. Don't get me started. But this is the place where people, and there's other people in here they see that are doing it, and they all join together. It's a peer thing. And they get educated and have speakers and all, but they see each other doing it. And one says, that one can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. And people have been taught a lie.
What encouragement or inspiration to doing good would you offer our audience?
I think find what you really love to do. And it can be a small thing. It can be a great thing. It doesn't have to be this. But it has to be something that you do that has to do with what gives you life. That is upbuilding to you. I don't care if you just say bless you to those people who are in the check line at the Giant or wherever, Safeway. I don't care if it's just small acts of kindness. I don't care if it's a large dream of changing the world, whatever it is. Get in it and start living your life from that positive energy of doing good.
My brother,
I can't do 15 seconds.
I know, it's all good. It's all good on this show.
And I love you.
Listen,
I love what you do. I'm your follower. You're my inspiration. Man. So don't tell me I'm yours. And I'm just in here doing.
I'm not going to tell you because you told me not to, but you are an inspiration, and I'm so grateful to have been here to spend this time with you this morning. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And I love the work we do together, brother. And I just love the way God has put us together and the things that I see happening down the road. But thank you for everything that you've done. And keep on doing good.
Thank you.
Still over at Manna. Every time I see her, she's out in the community, just helping people, fighting for equality. How you doing today, Sarah?
I'm doing good.
Oh, wow. Talked to Reverend Jim earlier about a lot of the great things in the history of this great organization and some of the things he's very passionate about. But I've seen you around. We've worked together on some pretty cool things like Paint the Block. That was really cool.
It was.
This responsible banking ordinance and that whole piece, trying to get equality in banking and lending for all of our neighbors, things like that. And so how'd you get caught in this whole manna thing?
Reverend Jim told me that Jesus said I had to come and work here.
Oh, that's it? That's how, what is it like around here on a normal day? Is it really calm? Because right now it's like really calm. Are they putting on a front for us? I mean, is it a little nutty? Is it a family environment?
And it can be a really quiet place like you saw this morning because people are hard at work. But it can also be a nutty place. I remember the last building that we sold all of the condos in. We were so excited because it had been impacted by the recession. It took us a long time to be able to settle all of those units. Yeah. And we ended up doing a Congo line down the hallway.
I've always appreciated the heavy lifting that you're willing to do, that you bring to the issue to help those of us that may not be as well versed. But more than anything, I just think the spirit that you bring to the fight. I mean, you're no chump by any means, but I love the gentle approach you take to getting people just to see what's right. I appreciate the personal doing good spirit that you represent. And we can have some laughs and chuckle a bit. I mean, I wish you all could have seen some of the things we were cutting up about. I mean, listen, I know that you have a busy day, but I've certainly enjoyed hanging out with my sister.
And I've enjoyed being with you.
So, Sarah, tell the people at home how you're doing.
I'm doing good.
Training Grounds, Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit established over 10 years ago. Our mission is to assist youth and adults with personal, career, and leadership development through training and support services.
I'm walking to jobs. I'm getting on the bus for jobs. It's like I'm hungry. I don't want to stop.
I'm working. I'm a full-time mom. I'm happy. And I think I'm a success.
For more information, visit www.traininggroundsdmv.org. We got something very special coming up. We're going to get my buddy Steve Benson to join us with that great guitar. And we're going to hear some beautiful music from my sister, Ayana Gregory.
Right here on the Doing Good Show.
This segment is brought to you by Monument Enterprises, your complete facilities service provider with many maintenance solutions and one point of contact, offering property management, operations and maintenance, janitorial services, and much more.
I'm looking forward to sitting down with my sister, Ayana Gregory, one of the daughters of renowned comedian and civil rights activist Dick Gregory. She's doing good every day, helping to empower youth and young adults all over the country with their one-woman stage play, spoken word, and song. Let's sit down with my sister and find out exactly what she's doing.
I know that I want more. What am I waiting for? I think I'm ready now. Forget what they told me. World can't hold me. You know that you want more. What are you waiting for? I think you're ready now. Forget what they told you.
Hello, this is Tom Brown, and we're here again doing good. But I tell you, I don't think it gets any gooder. I'm here with my sister, Ayana Gregory. How you doing, sis?
Hey, Tom, I'm good.
Yeah, I just think I should tap you up.
All right, okay.
Listen, I've been enjoying your music, your talent, your gift for quite some time. And today we got just a taste of all the giftings that God has given you. Tell me when you first started realizing you want to use it for the good.
It was probably after college. I went to Howard University and I studied.
The other HU.
The other 8 children, yes, exactly. I studied sociology and African studies, and immediately after I finished undergrad, I went into the public schools. I was teaching. And I remember there was this pivotal moment. I was teaching at an after-school program, and we were trying to get the teenagers to get the headphones off so we could teach this lesson. And I thought to myself, if I could meet them in the headphones, then I would have a greater impact.
Yeah.
And that's when it dawned on me, this gift that you've had, that you've seen as a hobby, is part of your life work. Yeah. So it went from the background to the foreground.
So, I mean, it had to be, really special and probably challenging too in a lot of ways, growing up as a daughter of the great Dick Gregory. I mean, I've been watching him. My mom, got me focused on him at a young age. And for you to be still continue the legacy with your own spin and flair, how does that feel? Where'd that come from?
I always say that I was born a punk by nature and that I had to grow into the revolutionary.
Wow.
But it really was, it's in our DNA. I was one of those ones, I was a slow cooker. So it took me a minute to realize the kind of courage that's required for somebody who goes against the grain. It can be very scary, it can be very uncomfortable. And as a little girl, I didn't know that I was ready for that, but I grew into it. I was born in a family where we had no choice. I mean, that's just how we were built. And so now to stand in my mid-40s, I see myself as a storyteller. Because I'm old enough to understand the significance of sitting at the feet of the elders, and I'm young enough to stay in pulse and on pulse with the young folks. And so my generation, we are a connector. I'm a connector. To really allow this gap between the elders and our youth that has been purposely created. My generation is here to say, no, let's bring this full circle together. But for me, growing up as Dick Gregory's daughter, it was very unconventional. I mean, it was never a dull moment.
I can imagine.
My family, it was like a badge of honor to go to jail. He was so ahead of his time.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
To be his children, you were dragged along with that. So there were moments that were scary. There were death threats. There were government phone taps. But the beautiful thing about him starting out as a comedian is he used his funny as a healing. So he never kept anything from. So and the other thing with my father is that he always said that fear and God don't occupy the same space. So there was something about that helped me understand that in the larger scheme of things, I can't be touched unless it is the Creator's will. So we walked with that. We really walked with that.
So you wrote a song.
I did.
Paying tribute to your dad.
I did.
And I know there had to be a special connection that you were able to establish through that. And I wonder, can you do a little piece?
I'll do a little piece of it, just a little bit.
And, you get out there, I might jump in the background,
Okay.
help you out a little bit, it's all good.
If you feel it. Okay, I'll give you a little piece. 1932, somehow Mama knew God had a plan for you. With a light around your head, some tried to hurt you, but you made them laugh instead. Funny man, superstar, change of plans, the movement called 10 kids and a wife, but human rights became your life.
And I appreciate that you use your gift. I mean, we had a chance to share in a couple of community events over the past several months. You were able to come over and help me out with an event in Southeast Washington over in January. We were doing an anniversary gala for Dr. King celebration. Then you came right back this summer. We had a summer basketball league over in Southeast and really blessed the crowd. We had a lot of fun interacting and cutting up. And so, I mean, tell me about the comedic side of you. Because we laugh and cut up, especially Offset. We've been cutting up a little bit. Did the comedic side of your dad, you think, rub off on you a bit?
It's funny because honestly, I don't feel like his comedic side rubbed off on us. I feel like my mother's comedic side rubbed off on us. So the children, there's 10 of us, 7 girls and 3 boys. Hilarious. All we did was laugh from the time we got up to the time we went to bed.
That's awesome.
And we didn't really have the kind of humor that he had. It was different. Ours was a little more offbeat. And there was never a dull moment, but it was always some clowning going on. And the funny thing is, I was telling a friend of mine, you know, none of us had any good sense, even the older ones. And so we'd be, you know, in some esteemed event, you know, and we're the children of Dick Gregory, so oftentimes they would have us seated with the other children of. And we would be the only ones that didn't have no kind of sense. You know, it would be like 12 o'clock, look at the toupee on the dude, and we just be rolling. And so it would always be something that we found more interesting than whatever the subject at hand was. You know?
So, you know, it doesn't take more than a few seconds to see that you are fully committed to. But most people would be afraid and not really making. That's why I love this show, is that we're able to make the connection, because people hear like what you said earlier about being a revolutionary, and they automatically get apprehensive and a little guarded. Yet what you shared with us today and what your legacy shows, and certainly your dad and your family, is that it's actually doing good. Yeah. It's all about leveling the playing field. It's all about opening up the possibilities for those who otherwise would be hopeless or without representation. And so tell me what that's like today. What's your doing good message that you enjoy living out, or even if you don't enjoy it, that you're committed to today?
Well, in the spirit of my father's legacy, I tell the truth. In a society that is built on lies, I'm simply telling the truth. So when I go into the schools, I go into the schools around the country, elementary schools, junior highs, high schools. And I look at these young boys, many of them who expect us to be afraid of them, and say, I'm not afraid of you. I love you. I see your fire. I got your fire. And as a matter of fact, the fire, that warrior spirit that you have, if you knew how to channel it, if you knew how not to burn your own house down, what you could be and what you will be.
Well, if I can be so honest, you're not just doing good, I believe you're doing outstanding.
Thank you.
And I want to encourage you to keep on carrying that light.
Wow.
And we're so inspired and honored and privileged that you would grace this show. So I want to thank you for gracing us. This has been a wonderful experience, a great time. And Ayana, we're going to look for more great things from your work. Thank you for just continuing to do good.
Wow, I appreciate it.
Bless you, sister.
Today, Doing Good finds us on the corner of 13th and 8th Street Northeast at a restaurant, Danny Todd's, where you can hear melodious sounds of some of your most popular music. But I bet you don't realize behind that music and that strumming guitar is Tina and Tony Thompson and their service to families and communities in West Africa.
Neither one of us wants to be the first to say, neither one.
And then there was a free gospel concert some years later to promote this effort. Popular gospel artists Rob Mercer and others got together to promote this mission. So we find ourselves here where the owner, Danny, is hosting these great sessions to raise money, funds, resources, and awareness about this mission to Gambia, West Africa. Let's talk to Tina.
I'm so happy on Doing Good today to be talking with the Thompsons here. Tina Thompson has been going overseas, blessing families in West Africa for the past 8 years, and I believe she's setting up to take her 9th journey. And to me, doing good is not just about your community. It's not just about where you live. It's about a spirit that even can cross oceans. And Tina, you've been doing that a long time, and I wanted to know what caused you to be a part of this movement.
Well, I am a 7th generation descendant of Kunta Kinte. Alex Haley is my 6th or 7th cousin. And that's what drove me over to Gambia to meet my family. Once I was over there, I saw the great need in the village, not only with my family, but with the people in Gambia, West Africa, and I wanted to help.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been traveling to Gambia since 2006. I actually started my work in 2010 doing my mission. And I officially got registered as a nonprofit organization in 2012.
And Tony, you know, I know your personality generally are real quiet. Tell me what it's like when your wife is away during that time and you're thinking about maybe, you know, some of the things that she may encounter or the stories she's told you to come back to say, listen, I'm going with my woman this time.
Yes, you're exactly right. It came to that this trip I'm going to make this next year. I was concerned about her safety, you know, every time she went, even the first time. It's really, I'm concerned the whole time she's there. And she'll tell you that. I'll call her. Very expensive, you know, every day we talk, you know, not long because it's so expensive. But her safety is my main concern. So when I go this time, I want to check things out.
Joan, tell me a little bit about the work you've done prior to and how you all came to work together and some of the things that you all are able to do, some of the things you do specifically to help support this mission.
I wanted something to do when I retired, and Reverend Petty said, you work with International? I said, yeah, so I want to do that. So we had a project with Liberia, and we worked with the True Light Ministry in New Jersey. And from New Jersey, we helped them with a container. So I was involved in putting that process together, doing the container, sending it over to Liberia. Then he told me about Tina's project. And I said, well, we can help. And I met with Tina, and Tina and I became, I guess, good friends.
Neither one of us wants to be the first to say farewell, my love. Goodbye.
This segment is brought to you by Monument Enterprises, your complete facilities service provider with many maintenance solutions and one point of contact, offering property management, operations and maintenance, janitorial services, and much more.
Training Grounds, Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit established over 10 years ago. Our mission is to assist youth and adults with personal, career, and leadership development through training and support services.
I'm walking to jobs. I'm getting on the bus for jobs. It's like I'm hungry. I don't want to stop.
I'm working. I'm a full-time mom. I'm happy. And I think I'm a success.
For more information, visit www.traininggroundsdmv.org.
I'm somewhere in my future, and I look much better.
So there you have it, the first episode of Doing Good. I hope you've enjoyed meeting people that are making a difference every day in the world around them. Well, the next time you see us, we'll probably be doing something good. I hope you'll join us next time. Thank you. This is your host, Tom Brown.